you know, they're gonna get every penny they can out of it.
Okay, well, I just wanted to let you know that I investigated acoustic panels, so is Linda, and I've sent them to Barb. And I know there's some possible problem with using the land between the safety fence and Barb's property. Like, that's not necessarily suitable for a berm or something now. There was going to be a berm and now there isn't, but these acoustical panels are fascinating, and they could be in the same footprint that the safety fence already has.
We have just discussed about, Carol had brought that up to us already. And
Fantastic.
what has to happen is we have to finish the permit out, okay, from Gannett Fleming and the contractor that was there, okay? Am I correct?
That's correct.
When is that end?
It's ending here shortly.
They just had an MCCD inspection, so they should be very close.
Right. Now, I think
We,
we have to back out.
but I did talk to Carol, and if we base the two driveways, we should be able to close out our end.
Okay.
So Roger and Ray are picking up the material to make the risers either tomorrow or Wednesday, so we can make the necessary manhole riser, so
Okay.
maybe we can get the,
All right.
that was my regroup plan, to get
Now-
that done.
What about Gannett Fleming?
Gannett Fleming
Is it,
would be, at that point, they would be off as, I don't even think they're on that. I think it was just us and Low Bar.
okay.
And Low Bar's filled out the paperwork to get their off
I don't
of
wanna
that.
guess on that because I thought Gannett Fleming was on it too.
If
I
it's
think
an,
it's
N-
on- I think
if
it's
it's an
just us and Low
NDES
Bar.
permit, they may have to sign off as the professional engineer
So
on the
it's
stormwater.
something
So,
that-
so they may have to sign that to close it.
But like you said, we're talking with Carol, if we get that base, we should be good to go then for closing out our end as well.
Okay.
Okay,
But we have, yes,
those are positive steps.
Carol had brought it up to my attention over there when we were looking at it to put a wall there or something.
Yeah,
And she said they do have these panels we could put up on the fence. But then we discussed that, you know, the fence right now wouldn't be high enough for that one. We'd think we'd have to go higher.
yes,
So Carol and I had discussed about maybe putting these big, the concrete blocks you can get real cheap.
mhm,
Building it up so high with that, then going up with the fence on top of that, okay? And then sloping the dirt from the, like 2 blocks high, that would put it 4 feet, or 6 feet high, slope the dirt back, plant the trees in front of that, then put the fence up above that,
that
okay?
sounds very
That's
good.
what, it was only talk,
Okay.
you know, we just,
So
we
get me excited and-
we were trying to come up with ideas, you know, and you gotta start somewhere and you gotta start talking about things and, you know,
Well, you know, we could consider a small section as a pilot and see if it even works in the
well,
first place.
and then we run into the problem, we had to get rid of Gannett Fleming and we have to get rid of
Okay.
the contractor. We have to get them off that permit.
Okay, well, thank
They
you.
wouldn't let us touch nothing.
Really?
That's why, yes,
Okay. All right, thank you.
all right, yes.
Can I just get clarity before we end on the cul-de-sac thing? When they park in the cul-de-sac, do they have to park around it? Like, some of them actually park in it like it's a big parking lot.
And then parallel to the curb.
So
is
if
what
they
would
park
be-
in the other way, who do I call?
Have the police.
I can't call the police, I just heard a
The
comment.
local police,
The local,
yeah, the township police.
okay.
State police won't ticket.
Okay, so, but you said like they're only available some?
Monday to Friday, like 7
7
to
to 5.
5.
I'll get there. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, that's it
Yep.
under new business, unless anybody else has any other new business.
Well, I don't know if we want to talk about it today, but we still have not made a decision on the building use policy, and I just want to, I guess, say one thing is, we have people using the building, and we have no policy. So I think one really important thing that was in the policy is absolving us of liability if anything happens. And you know, maybe we'll have to make changes in the policy as we go along, but I think we have no legal coverage currently for the people who are currently using the building, and I would like to see that liability waiver be in place for anyone using our building, and we now have no policy, and yet we have people using the building, so I'm just going to,
Our office
Throw
spent
that
some
in.
time writing that waiver, and it's ready to go, really. It's part of the application form. So, you wanna look at it from now till December 4th or something?
Do we want to just look at it next week? But we're all there.
yeah, let's do that. Again, it's, I understand we may have to make tweaks to it in the future, and we may have to make changes to it, but if people are currently using the building, we have no policy that covers us from anything. So I think it behooves us to have some policy in place that will cover us legally.
All right, and that's what we'll do, we'll discuss it next week.
Okay. Public comment?
Bob Burns, Zieglerville Road. I've sent Kevin several emails. They also were copied to the Board of Supervisors. Most of it is regarding the Township Code, PennDOT 408, PennDOT 213, in regards to the Ragusa development and the unsafe conditions that had gone on for 12 days up until last Wednesday. Last Wednesday evening, at the end of the day, all the cones were removed, vertical panels were put in, the side off the edge of the pavement has a little bit better shoulder, not exactly as per PennDOT 408. Asked Kevin briefly again last night. He said I was already given my answer. So if I'm assuming my answer is what I see, that's fine, but our engineer, I had a disagreement with as far as the comments that Kevin was giving me, saying that she said there's no problem with the cones and there's no problem with 213. So I think I've addressed it fully, and I know I talked to Chuck about it. He wanted it brought up at tonight's meeting. Chuck, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So can we expand on exactly where we stand with what's happened so far?
Carol, did you wanna say anything? No.
We went from a day-to-day situation while they were trying to get things stabilized out there to put in concrete. We got to the holiday weekend, and so it was upgraded from a short-term to a long-term situation. And I think it's in good shape right now, and I'm hoping we get some warm days so they can get some curbing done and get that whole thing buttoned up.
I know the
We really
weather's
need
been
some
against
warm weather
everybody.
and some dry weather, and it's just been a terrible year for concrete.
Well, it doesn't have to be above 40 degrees.
That's the problem, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that, did you say that they just went to try to pour concrete last week?
They poured concrete last week. The day they poured, it reached 40 degrees at 9:44 a.m., and that's when they were permitted to begin pouring. They
But,
got a short day in
but
before
the
the temperature
curing
dropped
time,
again.
I mean,
They blanketed
it's
the
it's been a while, but I think it's 70 degrees, constantly at 70 degrees, concrete takes 24 hours to cure. So,
We're following
that's
PennDOT 408 concrete
sub-zero
specifications to a T.
temperatures don't
Right now-
really allow for good curing.
Right now, we were following PennDOT 408 to a T.
I don't know, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
kinda came in the middle of the movie here, so.
Yeah, so here again, my concern is that PennDOT 408 and the 213 state that cones can only be used in the short-term operation, which is 24 hours or less. And our public had to put up with driving past an unsafe condition for 12 days until I kept sending messages, calling, complaining. I know I was a pain in the ass, I'm sorry, but I felt that it needed to be done. I mean, I almost got arrested by the state police on Wednesday. You know, I felt that adamant about it, that I had to do what I had to do. So, I mean, I appreciate what Carol's saying, that, you know, and it does look better out there, okay? You know, all the material that they dug out from the construction entrance to Schwenk Road has been dug out more than 4 days. It was cast behind their stakeout. It's not stabilized. From the construction entrance down to, I guess, Linda Bunt's driveway, that area, I don't think there's any piles. I think it's just fill material. That area has not been stabilized behind those work areas. So that's something, you know, that has to be done after 4 days. I'm bringing it to Carol so she can take care of that. Linda mentioned the curing. One of the emails I just sent stated that if the temperature falls below 35 degrees, it's a PennDOT regulation, that they were supposed to use high-low thermometers. And if it had on the high-low thermometer, it went below 35 more than 2 times, that the concrete had to be removed or tested to see that it's at 3,000 PSI
So
on the
Bob,
fourth day.
let me pause you for a minute, because I know you have talked to Kevin multiple times about stopping this job. What's your end goal here? Do you want this job shut down? What are you trying to achieve with
I want the
this?
public to be safe. When they come around the corner down there, first of all, there's no advance warning, okay? And I guess we can all split hairs on the PennDOT code there, but there's no advance warning. And even with the vertical panels on both radiuses at Schwenk Road and at Main and Zieglerville, I feel that we should have some more panels put in those locations.
They've got them measured out at every 15 feet exactly in accordance with 213. I understand there was a washout. at the
Can I
intersection.
just
Yep.
stop here and resolve this problem? You know, Bob, apparently, I'm looking at this, that you're out to do something here to this development. Because there was a rock that hung out there for many, many, many years. People hit it, they sideswiped it. Okay, and if anybody knew it, tell me you knew about it. You never once complained about that rock, about people hitting it, but the people called in here and they complained about it, sideswiping that rock. And it hung out over the white line. Am I
Absolutely,
correct?
absolutely.
How come you never complained about that? No wait, that would kill somebody more than anything,
Absolutely.
okay? Because it was a huge boulder. Now listen,
Why didn't
so
I call?
finally the township decided, well, let's get an estimate on it to take it out. There were some estimates, 17,000, 20,000. I think we come in at 5,000, we removed it. And we cut the shoulder back so they'd had a shoulder. What gets me is you're really laying on this developer, and I know he's fighting the weather, and I'm not trying to, you know, break you down on it, but we gotta try and work together here.
I understand
Okay.
that.
And it just,
What's wrong with holding them to the code, though?
huh?
What's wrong with holding them to the code?
It is, they're doing it.
Well, they weren't, if they were 11 days past.
And with all wintertime concrete, you got accelerators in it now. You order an accelerator, it sets up fast. It does. If you don't get it done, and curbing now with a curbing machine, it's not poured in a form where it's loose. Curbing machine comes stiff, really stiff, for it to stack. So it's about halfway set up when they pour it.
Getting
I'm
back to
just letting you
Carol's
know.
conversation and yours, Terry, first of all, if I would have been involved 33 years ago when I first moved in, that would have been better for me.
I'm just
okay?
saying, though, you know?
Obviously, in the last few years, I've had a little bit more time, and, you know, when I saw things happening, I decided, you know what, I want to be more
I
involved.
follow you, but,
Okay,
you know.
so as far as the boulder's concerned, I passed it several times, never had a problem hitting it. End of story.
A lot of people did.
Do I have an issue with the town, with the developer? No. What I have an issue is when somebody's not following the codes and our codes of, you know, of the township.
Apparently he is though.
Well, you know, do we have a signed road closure permit issued from the township to the developer?
apparently he asked for a road closure and he did pay for a permit, but
we have a procedure in section 101-9. It specifically tells you exactly what has to be done. Was the school district notified? Was
Yes.
PennDOT notified?
Yes.
PennDOT was not
No,
notified.
PennDOT wasn't notified.
PennDOT was not notified. We're detouring, first of all, we're detouring people onto Schwenk Road, which is an 8,000-pound road. They come out onto Salford Station, which is the state road. We have them detoured onto Fulmer, and last Wednesday, I believe it was, I'd have to check my email, but you guys got it, where it states that Ashpond also had a closure on the same day. They had an oil truck that went off to go around their vehicle, got hung up on the edge of the road, and then a second vehicle, the same thing. They moved their pattern down further so that traffic could get by. So here again, we're sending people out onto Salford Station Road. So, you know, if they notified the school district, that's great. Tommy always puts, you know, a sign up saying, usually a week in advance, these are the days that are going to happen. It states right in 101-9 that must happen. Okay. All of a sudden this morning, it's on the Facebook page or on the township page that there's going to be closures from now till Friday. I mean, why are we giving closures to a company? They can set up a flagman. Okay. If they're inconvenienced, they're inconvenienced. Okay. It's not our responsibility to let them get their job done easier and cheaper and make it harder for our residents.
But what is our responsibility is public safety. And to stabilize the edge of that road in these wet conditions, there's actually been undercutting the road and restabilizing that. And so if they're bringing a backhoe down Zieglerville Road with a bucket full of stone and turning to put it into that trench, that's gonna be an awful lot of stopping cars. And I know you've been out in the field and seen traffic control with the public. It's a real challenge, it's a real safety challenge.
Absolutely.
And they don't have the full width of the road to work with, it's a narrow road there to begin with. So the discussion that was held with township staff weeks ago was whatever gets this to the finish line sooner is to the benefit of the public interest. And whatever maximizes public safety is the benefit of the public interest. So daytime closure of that road, it is an inconvenience, I don't disagree. But each time there's been prior notification, the notification has gone out to the school district, to the police department, to the township, to all the entities that are required to be notified. And again, we're working in the interest of public safety and to minimize the amount of time that that road is shut down under construction or restricted under construction, so that we can all get done with this inconvenience and get to the other side of it.
So how did it go for 12 days till it finally, the cones were removed and panels were put up?
Because they kept intersecting, because of the rain we kept having, and because of the temperatures that we kept having. So their schedule kept getting pushed back. They had hoped to have this curve in 3 weeks ago.
That still doesn't answer my question. As far as, you're saying that you're trying to do everything for public safety. So if PennDOT says short-term operations is 24 hours or less, then on day 2, they should have been notified that they were not in requirement.
Frankly, that condition was safer than it was before construction
That's
started.
beside the point. Now they have the plans to do what needs to be done, okay? And just because there's not a detail on the plan showing it, that's not helpful either.
Well,
Okay,
it's
so-
now history, so I don't know what I can do to solve your angst about it, but it's history now. It's done, it's over, and there's something else up there right now, and we look forward to.
No, go ahead.
Ernie.
Ernie Schmidt, Silverbrook Drive. I'm 78 years old. I've worked construction my whole life from the time I was 18. I've served my time in the military. I want to tell you something right now. I don't know where this conversation's go. Is going. Construction is not 100% perfect. Just like my time in the military was not 100% perfect. You go to work every day, you try to do the best job you can. There's regulations you have to follow. Sometimes you sidestep them, but it's not a perfect day. Construction every day is different. You have different challenges, different conditions. You work with all kinds of regulations, including OSHA, which is one of the most important things you do work with today. But it's not a perfect science. It isn't. And to badger our engineer over her job is a lot of BS. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. You should let her do her job. If you have questions, go through our manager. If you have to, go through the police department. But don't badger her. She is our paid professional to do a job.
And that's
And
what I
I'm
did.
sick and tired of listening to it. You worked construction,
Absolutely.
didn't you? You
30
haven't
years.
done it for a number of years, have you?
That's correct.
All right. I think you should mind your manners and listen and try to behave yourself. I'm tired of hearing it.
And I don't go to the police. The police have nothing to do with that.
No, I know that.
Please.
Okay.
But he's gotten the police involved
Put up with
before.
that.
Okay.
Why?
Well, I have a question. Well, I have an observation. I'm all for safety for people to work along the road. It's the most dangerous thing you can do, having to work
It
near
is.
traffic. It's horrible. It's my industry, that's how people get killed the most. So, you know, I want to have the guys working on the road be safe, and shutting down that road shouldn't be a big problem. I had no idea how often they were going to be shutting it down, and how they were going to be doing it unannounced and uncoordinated with anything. When you make that safe by shutting it down for the workers there, but you're making it unsafe somewhere else. By doing that, you're moving the hazard to Fulmer Road.
Well, a fire does that too.
Right.
Big fire when you shut down a road.
Fire is an emergency, and
You're
obviously
doing
you gotta
the
shut a
same
road
thing.
down.
You're
But
doing
here
the
you got a
same thing.
situation now, it needs to be coordinated better. We did have pretty serious problems last Wednesday. They shut the road down, and Asplund was doing their pruning there, and we had two big trucks go off the road. The oil truck that went off the road, you know how soft it is on the side of the road, and there's no shoulder there. That truck was, it looked like it was ready to flip. It was bouncing on the rear pumpkin with the tires with the roadside sticking up in the air. I mean, it's a bad situation. I mean, at least there should be an announcement and coordination with stuff that's going on. Zieglerville Road traffic is more than Fulmer Road. You're diverting a much busier road down a much littler street. So I was talking to the Asplund foreman yesterday morning, because they're going to do my driveway. And he said, yeah, they're not done on Fulmer Road yet. They still have more to do, and he said, I guess we're gonna have to do it on Saturday or something, because did you see the trucks that went off the road? And I said, well, yeah, but Saturday's not gonna solve your problem. Saturday, there's more traffic on that road than there is on the weekday. On the weekday, everybody's at work, the car goes by every half an hour maybe. And I explained to him the reason that he's getting all this traffic is because he's the detour for Zieglerville Road, and they need to shut Fulmer Road down when they prune that, and not have it be the same day that they're shutting down Zieglerville Road. But the stuff needs to be coordinated if you're going to make it safe for everybody.
Terry?
Yes.
Public comment now?
Yeah.
I'd like to actually just kind of come full circle here. We had, since the last meeting, I think we had some big storms and some significant trees that came down on our roads. I know that cemetery had been closed before they kind of removed that tree. Of course, we had the letter here from PICO talking about their maintenance. You talked about the work that's being done on Fulmer. But it seems to me that a lot of our worst trees are incidents where they don't necessarily cover the PICO lines, but they cover the Verizon and Comcast lines. That perhaps it's time to contact the cable companies, especially, that they need to get their act together and start clearing some trees, especially.
They won't come out unless there's something wrong.
Well, certainly
come
gravel
down
pike
fast.
is a serious one, but I understand a lot of these trees